Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Cyberpoint, and in this video I'll walk you through how you can configure VLANs on FortiSwitch or a standalone switch. So in case you have a FortiSwitch that you want to configure in an environment that is not managed by FortiGate, FortiSwitch can be configured as a standalone switch in an environment like Cisco and other third-party vendor environments as a switch. You can configure VLANs on the switch and configure the port on the switches as access port for the individual VLANs for each users in your environment and all that, and also create a trunk port. So the scenario here will be like a router on a stick kind of scenario. So in case you're wondering what's the difference between Fortilink switch and standalone switch, Fortilink switch are switches that are being managed by FortiGate device. Forti switches can be managed by FortiGate, and the port on the switches can be adopted on the FortiGate device and controlled without having to log in individually into those switches. And with that, it has some benefits of creating additional features like having basic NAC and all that. So if you manage FortiSwitch with FortiGate, the port will be adopted on this, will be managed directly on the FortiGate, and you won't have to log into those switches individually, and you can do some level of functionalities as well. But in a case where you don't have FortiGate, or you are using FortiSwitch in an environment that is not being managed by FortiGate and all that, maybe Cisco routers, another form of routers, FortiSwitch can also work in such environment, but it will be as a standalone switch. That means you have to log in into the FortiSwitch and make the configurations individually from there. This video will walk you through how to configure VLANs on the FortiSwitch as standalone. So let's get started. The first thing is to go to your router. Here we're using FortiGate router, and one of the things we want to do is to create a VLAN interface on the router, and in this case it's FortiGate device. So coming to port 3, we're using port 3 as our port that will be connected to. We already have VLAN 10 on this switch. Let me go to VLAN 10, VLAN ID. So there's VLAN 10 here. So let's create VLAN 20 and VLAN 30 on the same port for this use case. So come to create and create interface. Then name it VLAN 20. VLAN 20. Then under here, select the ports on the FortiGate or any of the switches, any of the routers you're using. Let's just create a VLAN on the router first. So create the VLAN on the router, give it the VLAN ID. Then let's give it 20. Then leave it a row, give it an IP address. This will be as a gateway for the VLAN 20 on the router. 192.168. Let's say 17.1/24. Okay, let's give it a DHCP and leave every other thing as default. This is the router we are first configuring to ensure that we do that. VLAN 20, let's enable pinging, and maybe it's PS. Okay, so let's create VLAN 30 as well. Create interface, VLAN 30. Interface, let's select this interface. Let's 30, then 192.168.30.1/24. Okay, ping. I can leave DHCP server, then click OK. So now we have our VLANs on this port 3. We have the VLAN. We have VLAN 10, 20, and 30. So next thing we want to do is to go to the switch. Don't forget the diagram we're using. The switch is connected to the port of the switch is connected to FortiGate. So here we connect on port 3 on the FortiGate. Port 3 is connected here. Then on the switch, we also connect to port 3 and make it trunk port. So log into FortiSwitch. Okay, admin password as so. Coming to network and interface VLAN. On this, we need to create VLAN interface on the switch as well. So we already have 10. Let's add VLAN 20 and 30. So add VLAN 20. So name VLAN 20. So leave it as internal or internal, not management. Then VLAN ID will be 20. And also let's give it a static address. The VLAN 20 or from the FortiGate is 192.168.17.1 /24 network. So let's give it 192.168.17.2 from the switch. Okay, let's enable pinging, SSH, and HTTPS if possible. Then click OK. Click Add. Okay, let's add VLAN 30 as well. What's VLAN 30 at IP address? That's the ID is 30, then 192.168 dot 30.2 /30/24. Okay, enable HTTPS pinging and SSH. Then click Add. So now the next thing we want to do is to come to switch and come to VLAN and add the VLAN ID as well. VLAN, so ID as 20, add, then add 30 as well, 30, then add. So we have VLAN 10, 20, and 30 added. Then go straight to interfaces. So we are making port 3 a trunk port for all the allow access. So what we want to do is we are plugging port 3 on the FortiSwitch as trunk ports to allow the native VLAN, VLAN 20, VLAN 10, and 30. So to do this, edit this. From here, we have our native VLAN as 1. Then would now add 10. We've added 10 before as allowed VLAN, so let's include 20 and 30. So we are allowing VLANs for VLAN 10, 20, and 30. Then this untagged VLANs would make the port an access port. So we want it to be trunk port, so we're not doing anything with the access port on port 3 because that's our trunk port. Then click updates. Okay. The next thing you want to do is to go to the CLI and also do some stuff there. So you see this is the CLI, this button. So do config switch interface. edit port 3. So you need to do config switch interface, then edit port 3 and set allow VLANs 10, 20, and 30. Then use this set discard mode all on tag. Once you use this command as command, which is set discard mode all on tags, it will allow all the VLANs with imputed to be through the port. It will tag all those VLANs through the port and make the port trunk port. Command is very important to make the switch recognize the port as trunk port, so that we can set others as you can be able to have access to those VLANs there on the switch as well. So once you do this, just type end and close this. So we have port 3 as our trunk ports. Don't forget we have the FortiGate has been plugged and also plugged on the switch. Now, what we want to do is to also, set each port. Let's say we want to set port 7 and 8. Let's configure port 7 as VLAN 20, as access mode on VLAN 20, and port 8 as access mode VLAN 30. So port 7, edits. So here VLAN 20, the native VLAN here will be 20. We want to allow and make port 7 and access VLAN just for VLAN 20. Make this 20 and this 20 as well. So this port would majorly accept only VLAN ID 20 on the FortiSwitch. And click updates. Then port 8 will be 30. Edit 30, 30, 30. So what this means is that VLAN port 7 only accepts traffic on VLAN 20, while port 8 only accepts traffic on VLAN 30. Then port 9 accepts traffic on VLAN 10 alone. So let's plug port 7 and see if we'll have access. So on port 7, switch interface. So I'm trying to plug this port 7. Okay. 7. Okay. So let's create a firewall policies for the interfaces so they can have access to the internet. So go to policy, firewall policies, and create new incoming interface, others, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, then VLANs to internet, then outgoing, let's take internet, source, okay. So now we have the two VLANs to the internet, and we have NAT enabled. So So now let's confirm that we have IP address given to this. You can see there's traffic on port 7. So let's go to the FortiGate and see from DSCP pool, DSCP monitor rather. So here we have 10.192.168.2.17.2. See, this has been given an IP address on VLAN 20. Then the second one, so let's check for the second one, which is VLAN 30. So looking at the DSCP server, DSCP monitor, we have VLAN 30. VLAN 30 also has an IP address and a client as well. So what we want to do is to try and see if we can access the internet on both VLANs. So let's try. Okay, so let's check the logs. So we can see 192.168.30 having access to the internet. So another thing we want to do is to ensure that these two clients are not just having access to the internet, they can also communicate with themselves. So if you want to ping maybe VLAN 30 from VLAN 20, how is that made possible? Which is inter-vlan routing. So for inter-vlan routing, we need to do that from the FortiGate device. So on the firewall setting, go to policy and objects, firewall policies. Then we can do from incoming interface has to be VLAN 20, VLAN 30, outgoing interface, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. This incoming and outgoing interface, selecting the two makes it both forward and backward traffic, forward and reverse traffic for both VLANs to be able to communicate with themselves. All service, all, then remove nothing, all sessions. So inter-vlan. Okay. So what this means is that I can be able to reach, let's say, 1 minute from here, DSCP monitor. So let's ping 192.168.17 from 192.168.30.2. Now we can reach it and it's working. So the inter-vlan routing is working across board. So thank you. Let me know if this actually helps, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video with everyone. Bye.